Yeah, I own 3 cars now. I own 3 BMWs to be exact.
I am a psychiatry resident in Queens.
I'm a seller. 5'6", between $80,000 and $100,000. I live in Brooklyn and I pay $1,800 per month for an apartment. All my spend in 1 month, around 4K, something like that. 4, 5. Spender. No, I save, but I spend as well. 50-50. For the future, the apartment, more business, investing, music, you know.
I am a director of housekeeping for a hotel. I started in hotels in 2016. 101. I do live in New York, right over the bridge, Brooklyn. Brooklyn forever. Monthly, including rent, probably around like $3,500, closer to $4,000. Yeah, $4,000. Probably a purchase of another car. Yeah, I own 3 cars now. I own 3 BMWs to be exact. Spender. Can't go 6 feet deep with it. I wouldn't say struggle with saving money, but when you are living in New York, it's kind of just like you get the money, you spend it, and it just comes right back.
So I work in data warehousing, so it's pretty boring database type stuff. I work with Microsoft products, but I'm a consultant. 3 years, but I worked during college as well. So I finished college a year ago. I finished college and I'm still working there. So about €48,000. Not sure what that is in dollars, but it changes depending on how much work I do as a consultant. So it can go up from that. 48 is the baseline.
You got your camera?
I got
MacBook.
I got a MacBook. That's a pretty big flex. I got a really expensive MacBook. But my biggest one is I got a photography pass for like a local Irish festival that I've been looking to get for a while. So that's it. I'm getting more work as a photographer. I think is cool. I think so. I live in Dublin, so Dublin City, pretty much close to Dublin City Centre, and I work from home. Not that much. I still live at home, so about 400, 500 euro a month, about $500 a month. I live at home with my parents. So it depends on where I am and what month it is. At the moment, I'm a spender, but a month ago, I was a saver. What do I save up for? Camera equipment mainly and computing stuff. I waste my money on a lot of expensive stuff sometimes. And a car at the moment too. €7,000, I think.
I work in administration at a law firm, so a lot of my job is primarily to do like events. So I help to coordinate like network events. I started right after graduation, so it's been 2 years. Yeah, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
It's around the range of 70 to 75. Yeah. I took a trip in January to China, and so the flights and like the food and the gifts that I bought were probably my biggest purchase. I live in Manhattan. I live up around East Harlem, and I spend probably like with utilities around like $1,500 with rent. Yeah. I have 3 roommates. Yeah. Some months I'm a saver, some months I'm a spender. I feel I like to think I'm a balance, but maybe a little more of a spender. I don't think it's that much of a struggle. I try to save the same amount or a little bit more every month, and I make sure to do that first. But I feel like sometimes I could maybe save a little bit more. Yeah.
I am a psychiatry resident in Queens currently, so I've been finishing medical school in Germany. Then I did my PhD in Australia, and now I'm working in the field of psychiatry. This line of work has been almost 2 years, so I'm entering my 3rd year of psychiatry residency. So the annual salary varies from year to year. As residents, we have some sort of base salary in a model in which it increases year by year. So right now it is around 85K per year, but it's like rising kind of like 5 to 10K per year. And then after finishing residency, it basically triples in some cases. That's how it works. The biggest flex?
Yeah.
I have been conducting very interesting research on how certain treatments affect brain activity, especially electrical activity in the brain. And I could say it's a flex that in certain ways me and my team and maybe the whole neuroscientific community now understand better how treatments like electroconvulsive therapy and transcranial magnetic stimulation affect how our brain works, and that will be very important to treat diseases like depression and schizophrenia. I live in Queens currently, close to the hospital where I'm working, and luckily the housing is subsidized, so I'm paying less than 1/3 of my salary for housing, which is great. I think right now I'm still a little bit more of a spender, but I want to develop more of a saving attitude. I guess it just comes with experience, maturity, and the job position you have, just the stage of life that you're in. I have been saving money before, so I don't struggle with that. Also, I come from a space where I never had to pay any loans, because in Germany, medical school is for free. I am off debts or never had any debts, so living comfortably with that. So I haven't been thinking about saving these days too much.
Because Americans are spoiled, and we kind of take things for granted, rather than when you go out to the other countries, foreign countries, third world countries, anything around those lines, where you kind of have to work real hard and to make a nice dollar, compared to here in America, where we come, we work, and the dollar kind of comes a little quicker. So I think that's like really the difference. And again, I'll say it again, like Americans take it for granted in a sense compared to the other countries.
I feel like, I guess for one, we don't have like 전세, so there's not that much of a social pressure to do so. I feel like also with the way the credit system here works, it's really easy to kind of invest in a spending culture. And I think maybe in schools too, like for me personally, I wasn't taught as much on like saving and like the credit system and like growing up. So it's something that like you kind of learn later in life. I'm not sure how it is in Korea, but I think that's maybe why.
Honestly, from what I've experienced so far, there is considerable pressure to save. It's just that sometimes people may not take it very seriously because they rely on their vision, the notion of having a high salary in the future. It's like the American dream, you make as much as you can, there is no upper limit, the sky's the limit. But I have come from a tradition in Germany where we actually do save and have like retirement accounts. I also lived in Australia for a while where I have a pension account. I didn't mention that. And all of that has worked out for me so far, although I didn't place too much energy, emphasis on that. But I think it is very important, and the Korean model seems to be working well, and I do wish that more people would rely on that rather than being too much in the space of like, oh, everything's going to be fine, I'm going to be earning more in the future, and then I can save later. I think it's dangerous to postpone that decision too much. It should be a consideration made early in life.